is our 5th year. It's our 4th in New York. Our first one was actually in San Francisco. And the way it's changed is we've got a much more premium set of publishers, advertisers, agencies, trading desks than we did when we first started. So we really first started more in the operations arena, which would be consistent with yield management. But as our own platform, as our own business has really been become about managing the entire sales platform for a publisher, now we're talking with CROs, CEOs, CFOs of all of these great companies. So it's been a great pleasure and a great joy to see that expansion over the last 5 years. Display advertising is one of the fastest growing mediums within advertising. It's growing at 15 to 20% annually. It will soon overtake search, which I think a lot of people would have had a hard time imagining just a few years ago. In terms of programmatic, we're focused on video, mobile, as well as traditional display ad units. And the growth rates that we're seeing abroad, countries that we operate in, Europe, Australia, in addition to the US, growth rates there may be the same or even higher. And so from our perspective, as we see the opportunity of efficiency, effectiveness within display advertising, alongside the ability to tell a great story, which other mediums such as search don't allow, we think display is really the place where advertisers are going to focus their ad spend. We have 350 people around the globe, or about 2/3 of those 350 are outside of the US. So we have broad exposure to many different markets. Some of the trends that we see, of course, each market is different. Some markets value data over media, or vice versa. Some markets are now new to adopting programmatic advertising, programmatic ad spend, whereas the US has been seeing this for a couple of years. And we also see differences in mobile penetration. So for example, smartphones in Europe are more heavily penetrated than they are in the US. So each market will be different in terms of operating platform, operating systems, and key trends. Over 10% of our company is focused on mobile. We see mobile as a huge opportunity within our overall display advertising business. Key trends that we're looking at are privacy. So how do we make sure that we respect the user's privacy, at the same time targeting them with a relevant ad? Infusion of location data. So unlike in display, location is obviously a big driver of finding the right ad for the right user. And then third is helping publishers manage across different consumption channels. So how do they sell intelligently across the browser, across the tablet, and across the mobile device? We actually hired Forrester to help us really measure in an objective and agnostic fashion the ROI that programmatic is able to deliver to its clients. And so what Forrester found in surveying 4 of our clients and going into their offices, going deep with them, is that programmatic drives a 334% return on investment for a typical publisher. Now, 334% sounds like a huge number, so how did they get there? Well, they looked at the fact that we're driving 50 to 70% revenue lift for these publishers, while at the same time, the cost of our service is very low. So our cost model is on a variable cost model basis, which allows publishers to very quickly, within a month, get a return on investment that is equivalent to the amount of money that they invest. So we're thrilled to see not only the qualitative benefits that we're able to drive, but many of the quantitative benefits, but many of the qualitative benefits that we're also able to drive around insights, better pricing, better packaging for publishers. Finding the right talent is a huge challenge and opportunity for virtually every player in the ecosystem. As the industry is changing and moving from a purely creative-driven process to a mix of analytics, science, as well as creative, it requires a new breed of person to be on the teams of publishers, advertisers, or platform technology providers such as ourselves. And what I think many of the senior level executives have been talking about here today is how do they start to think about the salesperson of the future, the operations person of the future, the media buyer of the future, and ensure that they're bringing those people in at the earliest levels of recruitment so that in 2 years, 5 years, 7 years, they have very well-trained people that are steeped in both the creative as well as the analytical side of things. And for us, what that means is we look to hire as many left-brained or mathematical, science-driven people as possible. Talent development is an area of huge focus for us as we've grown from 150 people a year and a half ago to 350 people today. And the only way to do that and make sure that people have a clear path to growing their own careers is a deep focus on talent development across the management team. So we look at identifying who are our key performers, what are the key ways that we can grow their skills, and how do we help them grow their own career, grow their own skill set as they contribute to the company. I think being independent is a key aspect of how we go to market and how we help ensure that our business model is aligned with our client's model. Of course, there are platform technology players out there that are also ad networks. So they're on the one hand providing the technology, but on the other hand, they're looking to arbitrage against their own clients. And I think there's a very high degree of awareness, particularly within the premium set of the ecosystem, the premium set of the industry, of how their provider's interests may not be aligned with their own interests. And so for us, as an independent player, the leading independent player on the sell side, what we're able to do is go in with our clients and show them and demonstrate to them day in and day out that we are 110% aligned with their business and with their interests, and that's all that we focus on. Video is, of course, an area of fantastic growth. It's growing at well over 100% a year. You've got a handful of very large video content providers, the Hulus, YouTubes, et cetera, of the world. In addition, you have virtually every major publisher growing their portfolio of video assets, and consumers, of course, are spending more and more time with video. And what we're finding that works well with video is the ability to overlay data in order to determine not only the right ad to serve to a user, but also suggesting and informing them about the right video content. And we think that approach can really drive outsized returns.